Alright, hello citizens of the Nigelverse. It is Nigel here once again, and this is another wrestling review. Um, we started our wrestling reviews yesterday with Royal Rumble 1999, The Rock versus Mankind, and we're continuing our Royal Rumble reviews. Like I mentioned before with these reviews, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do at least two reviews per week. One of a match that happened at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view, or at a Royal Rumble pay-per-view, I should say, and then another match that happened, and another match that is a Royal Rumble match. And this week is going to be a Royal Rumble. Not this week. This review is going to be a Royal Rumble match. So, believe it or not, we're actually not looking at the 1999 Royal Rumble. From what I remember watching it, it wasn't that great, but we are actually looking at the 2006 Royal Rumble. So, for starters, as always, I'm not a professional wrestling reviewer or analyst, just a man who enjoys a good time. And I, for the most part, had a pretty good time with this match. Now, is this the best Royal Rumble match? Is this considered to be the best Royal Rumble match? Not really. But it's got sentimental value in my heart because it's won by arguably one of my absolute favorite wrestlers of all time, Rey Mysterio. I was always a huge Rey Mysterio fan growing up. Not just because he would fly around the ring doing all kinds of cool high-flying lucha moves, which is a style he really helped innovate and bring to the United States. But also because he was a small guy, and he was the living representation of no matter how small you are, you can accomplish big things. And younger me now some people older may kind of groan at that message, but for me, younger me, I was definitely enthralled by that. Like, I loved Rey Mysterio. His theme song, all that was good. But sadly, I wasn't able to get any, like, Rey Mysterio mask merch of, like, any of his masks or anything, but still really, really big fan of Rey Mysterio. So, the fact that he won here, really, really awesome stuff. And really, really good stuff. Now, WWE is being accused of popularizing off the death of Eddie Guerrero, which happened only a couple months before his Eddie Guerrero sadly passed away in November of 2005, and so WWE was criticized for pretty much capitalizing off of Eddie Guerrero's death. In terms of storyline, by giving this big monumental push to Rey Mysterio, dedicating it to Eddie Guerrero, and they're definitely not trying to hide it with Rey coming out in the lowrider, or that Eddie Guerrero used to ride to the ring to. And be that as it may, still really awesome to see Rey Mysterio get the win here and then go on to win the World Heavyweight Championship, something that eluded him in WCW. And one thing I will give WWE is that a lot of the guys who didn't quite get the brass ring in WCW in terms of like World Championship gold would find it in WWE, guys like Rey Mysterio or Chris Jericho or Chris Benoit, stuff like that. But Rey Mysterio definitely achieved that here, or winning the World Heavyweight Championship, but that wouldn't be until WrestleMania. But as for the match itself, I thought it was okay for the most part. It was pretty decent. What I liked is Rey definitely having an uphill battle. They definitely stacked the deck against him by having him enter at number 2, who number 1 is Triple H in the Royal Rumble match. And there were quite a few people that went after Rey, so he absorbed quite a bit of punishment. But Rey Mysterio was staying in the match for over an hour or 2 minutes, if I'm not mistaken, which that record would be broken with an hour 15 by Daniel Bryan in the Greatest Royal Rumble. Although I don't know if you would consider that an actual Royal Rumble, since it was like Saudi exclusive show and everything. But Rey lasting a while in there from the number 2 position. I don't know why WWE makes such a big deal about number 1 versus number 2. Oh, going from number 1 winning the whole thing. No, number 2 is still talked about how they last as long as it's not glorified as number 1, even though 1 and 2 are essentially the same position because numbers 1 and 2 start off the match and then it goes from there. But I feel like numbers 1 and 2 are kind of, or number 1 I should say, he is kind of like glorified. It's a bit overhyped, hyped in a lot of regards, but nevertheless, Ray going the distance, essentially going from bell to bell. Oh, and there were plenty of moments where you thought he was out, but he wasn't quite. Finally eliminating Randy Orton to win the Royal Rumble match. So, oh, pretty decent for the most part. A pretty good amount of talent. Excuse me. Interesting talent pool. You had guys like Carlito and Chris Masters, and the aforementioned Triple H, Big Show, Bobby Lashley, which this was his Royal Rumble debut. Ooh, and it's crazy how many former and future world champions were in this match. Of course, you had former world champions like Randy Orton, Triple H, Ric Flair, Big Show, Kane, and etc. But then you had future world champions like Rey Mysterio and Bobby Lashley. So, pretty interesting stuff to think about in terms of that historical footnote. But yeah, so a decent amount of talent. There was a couple surprise entrants. I think Eugene was supposed to be a surprise entrant. And there was Goldust, there was Tatanka, so a couple surprises peppered in as well. I thought Road Warrior Animal at first was supposed to be. Now, granted, and I'm talking about when I first watched this. At this point, I've watched this match like a bunch of times, probably like a dozen times because I love this match. But the first time I watched this match, I was surprised. I'm like, oh, I thought Road Warrior Animal would have been surprise entrant, but it turns out, oh no, he's been on SmackDown and everything. I forgot. The Road Warriors did have like somewhat of a lengthy kind of run in WWE in the mid 2000s, especially Animal after Road Warrior Hawk passed away, and then he teamed with Heidenreich and everything. Even turned heel, if I'm not mistaken, at one point. And so, pretty interesting stuff. But yeah, so a pretty decent talent pool for the most part. Not the greatest Royal Rumble talent pool. Well, I must admit, there was only like maybe a couple of like legitimate people who you see it could be like, oh, okay, I can definitely see them winning this Rumble match. But nevertheless, still a pretty decent talent pool for the most part. And like I said, the fact Ray went bell to bell was pretty cool. In terms of what I didn't really like about the match, for starters, I feel like there weren't a whole lot of like Royal Rumble moments, and it's where there's like big stuff that's memorable in regards to Royal Rumble lore, such as like Royal Rumble 2004, where Paul London pretty much died after Snitsky clotheslined the crap out of him, or like 2005, where both Batista and John Cena went out at the same time. Or even like 1997 when Stone Cold Steve Austin got eliminated just to go back into the ring and eliminate. I believe it was it Bret Hart? I forget exactly who it was, but or like 1995 or 6, the one where only one of Shawn Michaels' feet hit the floor, and they say like only one feet hit the floor, emphasizing that both feet have to hit the floor rule. Wasn't really any definitive moments like that in this match. The only one I can think of that might have been close is like when Big Show and Kane were about to eliminate each other, like doing the double choke slam hold and stuff, and then Triple H like dumps both of them out. Which, I mean, that's probably no easy feat. Props to Triple H for being able to do that. But also shout out to Triple H who had the Lemmy chops around this time. But other than that, not really any like major oh my god memorable Royal Rumble moment like that. Sadly not really to be found in this match. And like I said, the fact that there weren't too many like people who you were like, oh okay, I can definitely see them having a chance of winning this Royal Rumble, did kind of sour me a little bit. Another thing that I didn't really like is that some of the people were eliminated fairly quickly, which got annoying, such as like Ric Flair, Chavo Guerrero. I wish they would have stayed in a little bit longer, but they went out pretty early. And actually, now that I think about it, both Ric Flair and Chavo Guerrero, which just a couple of examples I listed, both of them were eliminated by Triple H. Go figure. But But I think the other thing that I didn't really like is that this match wasn't the main event. Normally, the Royal Rumble match is the main event of the pay per view, or even in the case like the Royal Rumble 2018, where it was the first ever women's Royal Rumble match. The women's Royal Rumble main evented the show. So the fact that this Royal Rumble, which at this time was still men only and everything, the fact that this wasn't like the end of the show. In fact, like smack dab in the middle, I feel like definitely kind of soured it for the most part, because as I feel like the Royal Rumble was that big moment, and the person who wins the Royal Rumble, they point at the WrestleMania sign, and they're going to WrestleMania. The crowd's excited, or upset in the case of 2015. The crowd's excited. They're happy. They go home happy. That's the ending shot of the show, is them pointing at the WrestleMania sign and be like, "Yeah, I'm going to WrestleMania." But here, no. In fact, this one's like smack dab in the middle. There's still a whole bunch of show left. So, having the big match, the reason you're all here, the Royal Rumble match, smack dab in the middle like that, I feel like it deflates the crowd quite a bit, because the crowd spent all the energy being happy and everything for Rey Mysterio. That was supposed to be the high note that the show was going to end on, but instead there's still a bunch of matches left. There's still a bunch of show left. In fact, it ends with Undertaker and Kurt Angle kind of having the conversation. Undertaker hitting the lightning in the ring, and then Kurt Angle falling over in the ring because the ring collapsed. I mentioned this before in the Survivor Series 2005 match. I'll mention it here. Man, Undertaker loved his lightning, didn't he? Around this time, he definitely loved the lightning, where he's like, and then the lightning would shoot out. Oh, kind of like Emperor Palpatine. Which, speaking of which, if you haven't already, check out my Star Wars reviews. Just a random plug, I guess, but check them out. They're fun. But yeah, so the fact that the Royal Rumble match didn't end off the show, I thought was a little weird. But maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just me ranting and perhaps asking too much. But I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments below. Do you agree or disagree? Do you feel like the Royal Rumble match should be the main event of the show, or do you think it should? Do you think it shouldn't be the main event? Even though I feel like it should be the main event, because that's what the event is named after. Or so, why not have it as like the main event? That'd be like a Hell in a Cell match, not main eventing Hell in a Cell, or like a Money in the Bank match, not main eventing Money in the Bank, or like Elimination Chamber, not main eventing Elimination Chamber, etc., etc. Like, I feel like that's kind of weird, but maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just ranting and everything. I know it's not the first time they've done that, where the Royal Rumble match wasn't the main event. I forget what other years they did that, because they did that a couple times up to this point, and I think they may have done it once or twice after this point, but for the most part, the Royal Rumble is the main event of the show, of the Royal Rumble pay-per-view, as it should be. But nevertheless, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do me a favor. Like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends. Turn on post notifications so you know every time I upload a video, so you can see it as soon as it drops. Let me know in the comments below. Did you agree or disagree with my sentiments? Did you like or dislike my review? Did you like or dislike this Royal Rumble match? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys later. Peace.